Whoa, what's that? That is the Zotac Z-Box, and this is the Steam in-home streaming client that I selected for this particular Steam in-home streaming project. So this machine right now is sporting a Intel Atom Z series or something processor. I don't remember the rest of the numbers. If it was AMD, it would be a lot easier, right? AMD FX 7970, AMD FX 8350. Oh, Intel, no, it's got to be ZXDL dash whatever. So it's a Z something processor, Z something. It's got 2 cores, 4 threads, so hyper-threading. That's good. I do like that. That'll help with when you're putting some sort of CPU load. It won't completely conk out on 2 cores because you have the hyper-threading to help out. So I just took it out of the box. Whoa. Oh, there goes the computer. And here's what the guts look like. As you can tell, it is a bare bones system. There is nothing in this computer but the processor, but that is okay. I have the parts for it. So, processor's right there, heatsink fan, yada, yada, yada. I'm hoping that's not going to be too loud. Well, it shouldn't be. It's a small fan, and it'll be in a relatively cool room. So there's the SATA connector, and you have 2 slots for SODIMM DDR3 memory. So the best thing I like about the system is it's fairly modern. It's like, I would say, previous gen, maybe. I don't know. I think it's Ivy Bridge, so it's not old, but it's certainly not new. So um, the video card on it is an NVIDIA GeForce something or another. Again, I don't really remember the specs. I just kind of bought this on a hunch, and it's got 512 megabytes of video memory. But again, that should be enough. I've seen Steam at home streaming work on Intel graphics, so an NVIDIA chip should be sufficient enough. Now, the only problem I'm going to have with this chip is probably my cable system, my television setup. Doesn't like NVIDIA chips for some reason. Every time I go to install an NVIDIA chip, I can't watch HBO. It gives me a HD CP error of some kind, and I haven't found a solution for it. So I'm hoping maybe it's just a driver thing. Maybe it was just a chip thing. Maybe, I don't know. Hopefully it works. So let's go ahead, put everything together. And actually, before I do that, let me just show you in comparison how loud the system is, the existing system is. So here's the machine here. I'll just kind of put the camera here and we'll turn it on. Now, it doesn't sound loud on the camera, but when you're sleeping next to this thing every day, it's noisy. You got the fans going, and then when the video card is under load when you're playing a game, it gets pretty loud, and it gets really warm in here. So, we will be taking apart this system. I will be selling pretty much all the parts in here except for the motherboard, and we'll be turning this into the Steam in-home streaming server. This is what I am. This is what's going to be the Steam in-home streaming server. This box here. The only thing I'm worried about is the size of the video card and everything, and so that's something I haven't done research on yet. But the box is here, and I don't have to buy a case or a motherboard. So let's go ahead, kill the power on this thing, and take it apart. So here's the old system. As you can see, it was a full desktop, Radeon 7770, SSD, and there's some other storage in there that's probably going to go in the server. A Seasonic power supply. So what I'm selling is this here. I'm selling it as a lot. Power supply, Seasonic 350 watt, rock solid, 80 plus, 7770. I'm selling this, and there's an AMD dual core under that. So I'm selling that for maybe $70. I think that's a good deal. So I'm selling that, and I'm going to keep the case. And now with everything out, I can probably measure how much of a video card will fit in here. I have a feeling a 7770 might not fit. But I might be able to do a little bit of modification to the case, and that might all change. I've got, we'll say maybe 3-4 inches. Maybe. We'll see. so everything's all plugged in. Time to turn on the power. My cable mismanagement system. We got standby. Let's go ahead and turn on the TV. And I didn't hook it up to HDMI yet, so I should do that. There it is right there. Okay. Let's power it on. Ooh. Oh, we're gonna let it start automatically here. I don't have a keyboard plugged into it. Let's see if it blue screens. Yep. I may have to reinstall Windows. Yeah, it might not let me go through. Come on. No. Okay. Yep. I gotta reinstall Windows. Okay, so here's the BIOS. As you can see, the memory is recognized. That's good. It does see the SSD. But the problem we're having... Oh, 2.13 gigahertz. How about that? The problem we're having, though, is... I'm going to play with the BIOS now. Is... This is kind of a interesting BIOS with this type of processor. You ain't overclocking nothing here, and I wouldn't recommend it. But anyway, yeah, I have to reinstall Windows. It won't boot from the previous setup that I had with the AMD processor. Going from an AMD processor to an Intel processor, I guess that's where the problems start. So, alright, I'm distracted by this BIOS. It's kind of a nice BIOS to get for such a cheap machine. It's probably an old revision, but whatever. Okay, well, let's go ahead, get Windows reinstalled. I have my USB drive in there, so I can get it installed from there. I'm just going to have to set up the boot priority, so it will boot to the USB drive instead of the disk drive. So Windows is installed, but I didn't activate it, so I have to activate it. We got our Steam going. Actually, I'm not signed in, so you don't see any of the stream options. But we have Windows installed. We have the computer all set up here. I have our remotes and stuff plugged in. All our drivers are installed. Sound is working like it should. So let's go ahead and test Steam in-home streaming and see how it runs. We're gonna go to the Steam settings. I'm so tired, but I won't give up. Okay, so client options is on fast on this one, because I did switch out the entire computer. I must have had it already set up. So host options. Okay, so enable hardware decoding, prioritize network, traffic, and we have it on fast for the client. We're connected to my machine. And let me just make sure I'm not missing anything. And I did unlimited, I think. Yeah, I did unlimited for the bandwidth. We're at 720p. Display performance information. Okay. So we're going to try that same thing with those settings on now. So we're going to stream the Stanley Parable. Before we were getting about 20, 25 frames per second. There was lag, it was fluctuating, it was skipping. So we're going to see what happens now. Alright, right now we're getting an unbelievable amount of frames. And by the way, I had those settings on before when I first started the Steam in-home streaming. I just had a different video card. So if this thing decides to work because I turned on the same setting I was using before, because trust me, I would have known to turn those settings on before. Okay, so 60 frames per second. Let me enable the audio. Let's see if the audio skips, and yeah, this is running buttery smooth.
All of his co-workers were gone.
See how smooth it's running?
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
I mean, I am doing the rendering at 720p, so I can just avoid any back-end problems, so the computer doesn't have to work so hard. And I don't mind 720p, as long as I can just plop down on my bed, play a game.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors,
don't need to be in front of a keyboard and mouse all the time. Yeah, so it's running buttery smooth. So let's try a couple more games before I actually conclude that I used the same settings that I did before, but all of a sudden it wants to work. I'm telling you, I had those settings on before and it was doing the same thing. Some, I know when I used to work with some customers, they said, well, you know what would fix this? And they would usually say something like along the lines of a bat or a hammer. And that's how I feel when it comes to Steam in-home streaming. I just think like an axe or not a mallet, but I'm trying to think of that big, like a big construction hammer, not a jackhammer, like a big hammer. I have one in my workshop. I don't know what it was used for, but one of those. Just take that straight to my computer, because I wouldn't have this problem to begin with if that was done. Oh, we can try Crysis now, so let's do that. Let's just skip the other stuff and do Crysis. I know I'm just about out of video memory on this phone. I hope it hangs in here with me, because I've done like 30 videos tonight trying to show Steam in-home streaming at its best. This is a non-Steam game, by the way. You can't skip none of this. So if you saw in the previous video, it was skipping and chopping in that room, because when you face the door, it's actually rendering the outside, the other side of that door. So it was like struggling. Right now we're getting 60 frames per second. I'm just gonna skip that, resume game. You're bound to get some kind of high latency when you're loading a game. That's natural. There's really nothing going on during loading screens of most games, so let's turn the sound back on as soon as the game loads. We're still getting 60 frames per second somehow. And the game already looks like it. Oh yeah, this is so much better. Let's look at our settings. I think I have it running at 1600 by 900, so high. We're gonna actually, oh, you know what? This is how I can fix this. Discard. We're gonna tell the machine to render everything at extreme. Okay, if I can find the right setting, that'll, graphics, high, ultra, that's what I wanted. And we'll do 1920 by 1080, although the rendering is happening at 720p. We're just going to give the machine that much more work to do, and I'm going to see if I can break it. If it works, if it runs good, and I can tell it's already running good, the menus aren't like jittery or anything, still running good. And we are running at ultra at 1920 by 1080, but being rendered in 720p. See how quick that is? It's not stuttering. Okay, so we may or may not have fixed it. I do want to show this part because as you saw before, it was like skipping when I was shooting at the guys down there. It was like choppy. It was like watching a I don't know. I don't know. I just had so much bad luck with Steam and home streaming. It shouldn't have been this hard. All right, just turned off the sound. I'm gonna turn the volume back on.
Devisors function allows you to observe from a safe distance.
Listen, Prophet. Cells are all over downtown looking for you. I'm sending you my coordinates.
Make your way through the camp.
Oh, forgot to reload. It's buttery smooth. 60 frame. What is this? Yep, 57 frames per second. Everything ultra on a 7970. Where are the guards at? Okay. Well, I'm not gonna live, but you get the point of the video. Let me see. How do you go cloak? I don't even think I have that option right now. I can see the guards though. Okay, hold on. Can I shoot? I think I got him. No, I didn't. Grenade, grenade. Back up, back up, back up, back up. But as you can see, it's buttery smooth. Problem solved, I hope. I'm going to cut it off here before my bad luck comes up. I'm going to get this thing set up properly, this computer here. And set it under this. Actually, this is changing here. I actually got the coupon for a new TV stand. It's like this walnut wood looking, you know, thing. It's gonna match the desk, so I'm not gonna do a video on like unboxing it or anything. I'm just gonna get it. So here we go. We're good to go. I think the problem's solved. I think it's solved. So, all right.